Hello everyone, welcome in the new video. Today we're gonna learn who became the European champion in 2024. The final game was played in Barcelona, August 2nd. It was a match between the FISA chairman, the Oyama Award recipient Frank Ruvekampf, and 5 times European champion and the creator of PlayShogi.com, Jean Fortin. What is the strength of European top players? Who and how won this decisive game? Let's watch, analyze, and learn together. Jean performed the Furigoma, and center player was decided to be Frank. The game started with traditional Yoroshiko Negai Shimasu, paired with a respectful bow. The time setting for the game was 45 minutes, thinking time, and 40 seconds Byomi. Both players showed their intentions to play static rook, but Frank decided to decline to open his bishop diagonal. Because of it, on the move 9, Jean could have pushed this rook pawn early, but he explained that in the past it was considered a good move, activating the rook, getting a pawn in hand, but nowadays it could be considered a tempo loss. He also knew that he will be able to push this pawn later. The game continued naturally, both sides developing their attacking and defensive pieces. And then on the move 26, Jean decided to push this edge pawn instead. His intention was to prepare against a future bishop drop 8-2. In this case, once this pawn is pushed, there is a space for the lance or the knight to run away. And finally, on move 31st, Frank decided to open his bishop diagonal, and this is exactly when Jean decided to attack. This pawn may look like a free pawn, but if you were to take it with the silver, bishop exchanged, followed by bishop drop 5-5 is a fork, which is countered with bishop drop to 6-6. But here rooks are being exchanged. It seems that center is a little bit better because this king seems more in danger, but actually silver 7-1, defense against possible rook drops. And actually the rook drop 6-1 is not possible immediately because of the fork on both of generals. So the situation is not easy, but according to the computer, this would be slightly better for Gote. So it might be risky to take this pawn directly, so Frank decided to take the bishop first. Knight takes was also possible, but Jean decided to open up path for his king with silver takes. And here Frank dropped the bishop 6-6, attacking the rook. Rook went back, and finally silver took the pawn. Here, this is what Jean prepared for. He dropped the bishop to 6-4. Once the rook escaped, he attacked the silver. And here it may seem that Frank is a little bit in trouble because a pawn push or knight jump protecting the silver actually don't work because of the bishop influence. So it seems that Jean is a little bit better here. But what Frank played next surprised him a little, because bishop 7-5, bishop takes, seems like we can take and rook retakes, but actually there is an in-between move. Knight jump to 7-7, which forced the rook back and created a little bit of issue for him. Actually, in this position, there was even better defense for center, and it was to push the pawn anyway. This would force the bishop to move away from this diagonal, and this is when we could block the rook with this pawn push. And this also allows us to get rid of this pawn on the back rank, allowing future drops in front. If you were to play out this position a little bit more, for example, here we will have the value of this pawn drop. If we were to drop the pawn 4-4, after a few moves, it will turn out that you can gain tempo while attacking this bishop or find different ways to put pressure on it. So this variation would give up one pawn, but give quite interesting tempo to center, especially that we need to spend some time reactivating this rook. So this pawn sacrifice I found very interesting. What was played, as we said, was bishop 7-5, knight jump and retaking the bishop. This is quite even still, but Jean found a natural follow-up. After dropping the pawn to rebuild the Yagura castle, he dropped a bishop to 2-7, creating a horse. Normally having a horse on the board is a very beneficial situation, so center will do their best to delete it. and Gote should do their best to preserve the horse. But Jean decided that more important than having the horse on the board is to put the king into safety, which you will see later gonna be very beneficial. And this is perhaps where the theme of the game came to be. Frank dropped the bishop to 2-7, trying to delete the horse. But bishop to 1-8 was much better move. Because you see, horse taking it, lance taking it, preserves the rook on this square. While bishop to 7 will misplace this rook slightly. And this is gonna be the theme of this game. You will see that this one means placement is gonna mean a lot in the future variations. So not only did Jean get a safer king, he also gained huge strategical advantage right now. Here, for example, what Jean played was pawn 7-4, looked quite naturally. But even now, directly, we can utilize the fact that the rook was misplaced. Point being, we first sacrifice the edge, and we continue with bishop drop to 5-4. You see, those two pieces attack this square, and at a glance, it seems that if we promote the bishop, the rook is blocked because of the knight, but a brilliant Tesuji comes to life. First, we're gonna drop 8-6 pawn. Pawn takes, rook takes. And now if we were to arrive at the same position, you see the pawn drop cannot block the rook as the rook is under the knight. So Sente is in trouble. There is no way to really protect this square. We can try pawn drop 8-8. We can directly try to break in again. Try to defend a little. But because of this sacrifice previously, we can drop the pawn and the attack continues. And this is where I would say Gote is quite confident because their king is safe and we have a continuous attack. We have promoted pieces, Sabaki the rook. This would have been a good variation for Gote. What happened instead? We had the pawn push 7-4 and Frank continues to attack with bishop drop 6-2. After which there are many exchanges happening. The game is so close to being even that a Senjite is being possible. But because the game replayed would mean that the colors are swapped and the players will have to play with the remaining time on their clock, it means Jean with more time on the clock would have a huge advantage. So probably Frank, maybe this is why Frank didn't choose the option of Senjite. So here bishop drops were possible. A bishop drop, bishop promotion would harass the rook, allowing Senjite somewhere in the future. And here, both players try to create some attacking possibilities for them. But as you can see, again, king to 2 right in the middle of the fight is gonna be a critical move of safety for the king. Because now we will be able to give away the rook. We won't be afraid of any rook drops. So many difficult, complex exchanges were happening. But the most critical mistake that was made was horse 7-2. Once more arriving at our theme of misplaced rook. This allowed Jean to delete the horse while attacking the rook and giving some tempo back to him. Because you see, we had to drop the bishop again and promote it again. It gives us some tempo. Generally speaking, what Gote would like to do is somehow sabaki this rook. And what Sente would like to do is somehow utilize this horse and promote this pawn while bullying that rook. So both players have to make decisions, but Byoyomi is getting closer. More and more mistakes are happening. Here Jean plays pawn 5-5, naturally looking move, trying to displace this silver in the middle of the board. Pawn drop 6-5, trying to restrict its movement. Here Frank's attack the rook, and remember when we said about rook activation. Here Jean played rook 8-4, but actually the most active place for the rook was 5-3. A really interesting line to follow up. If we were to defend, we have to defend the silver. Pawn 7-6, silver takes, breaking this connection. Again, attacking this rook. And here, an interesting drop. Pawn to 5-7, attacking the gold. And the problem is, if we take it, the silver is falling. Really, really interesting line for Gote here, but it was missed. The game seems to be a little bit better for Sente. Finally, Frank is able to correct this misplaced rook. As you can see, this one move in the middle game seems like a huge deal. One lost tempo because of the wrong bishop drop. Yeah, it was so crucial. Yeah, those many lines were alive because of this misplacement, and this whole move was lost because of this misplacement. Yeah, bishop drop 1-8 was such a huge deal here. And because it's Jean's turn to move, he dropped bishop 4-5, trying to utilize this combo over here. And we're getting closer to one of the most critical positions of the game. Currently, this horse is under attack. It needs to move. It moves to the side, attacking the rook. So Frank regains the move. He has to defend properly right now. And what he does was to push this pawn for 6, which wasn't directly losing, but created a lot of problems. Instead, perhaps horse 5 to first, followed by misplacing the rook, and knight jump to 3-7 was a little bit better because it preserves this rook defenses. Every piece matters in middle game, so I think it was quite critical to keep this row open for it. Of course, this wouldn't be an easy game, but according to the computer, this would be quite a bit better for Sente. So in the game, 4-6 pawn, bishop sacrifice is happening, and a direct attack on the king is happening. And once more, where the blunder happened, bishop rook 6-1. And this was a huge one because it led to a very unfavorable exchange to Sente. Let's calculate. Yes, silver took the gold, bishop took the rook, silver took the gold, king took the silver, and we took the bishop. So what happened? We took 2 generals for 1 general, 2 golds versus 1 silver, and bishop and rook were exchanged. That means Sente just lost a full gold general. And what's more crucial is that their king is now very, very lonely, and we're in Byomi. So even if the material imbalance wouldn't be an issue here, I think the fact that you have to defend a lonely king like this in Byomi versus a full Yagura is a huge problem right now. So bishop drop 6-1 was the wrong move. Here we should defend a little bit longer. Gold going back, not allowing them to take this critical piece because, yeah, we can promote the silver. It seems like, we're breaking in, but actually we can block this rook. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal. The problem will be pawn push 6-6, and here we try to prolong our life. King to 5-8, try to escape, try to survive. A familiar Tesuji might come up, pawn drop, rook takes, to avoid this pawn drop once more. But perhaps this is where Sente can try to find some counter-attacks. Bishop drop 4-1, this time creating their own combo on this king. And as you can see, because the king went to this direction, let's say rook promotion, pawn drop aren't that much of an issue. So this was a huge deal around here. The incorrect move was played, which created a huge advantage for Gote. The lonely king was now the matter of how Gote will approach it, how we're gonna arrive at the winning position. Gold drop 7-6, pressuring it from above. Silver drop trying to protect this square. But here, an amazing Tesuji was found by Jean. After pawn 6-6, little bit of exchanges there. Silver takes his better shape. Frank is trying to defend by sacrificing the silver, delaying the attack as much as possible. But bishop drop 8-9. Leads to a Hishi position. And this is Hishi because Sente has only bishop in hand. And this is a Hishi because if the silver moves back, seemingly protecting a gold drops, pawn drop, basically leads to Tsumain free. Of course, instead of taking the bishop, king could have run. The game would be a little bit longer, but still huge advantage for Gote. Gote at some point will try to replenish their army by taking off the silver and surrounding the king. And probably still win. King takes, just came to a very decisive position, undefendable one. And after pawn drop 8-8, Frank resigned. I had asked Jean a few questions afterwards. What did you think about the game? Jean said, I'm quite happy how I played. Those 2 moves of putting the king to safety may have felt slow, but in the endgame gave me confidence that I can be faster with the attack. It was a good game. We had a good fight with Frank. Then I asked Jean, how do you feel about becoming the European champion for the 6th time? He said, I am happy that I was able to win the title once more, 15 years after my first title. Then I asked him about his future goals, and he said, well, now that I have won 6 times, I will try to go for the 7th. And finally, I asked him for a message to our viewers on YouTube. And he said, Shogi is fun. I was having fun in the tournament. I had fun games in the tournament, Blitz and main tournament. I was happy to meet everyone. And from me, I think the final game was a pleasure to watch. Both sides had chances to take the advantage, and the game was decided by a beautiful endgame technique. And I hope that you, by watching this video, also felt inspired to hone your shogi skills, and perhaps in the future you will join us on a shogi tournament live. One day as a player on the first table? Who knows? Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!